The original idea was for Johnny Loves Taya to be backstage segment.
The beauty of it is you have the time and creative autonomy to put out what you want.
You were in music and theater and then wrestling.
It's all the same. I present my art through movement, and that's exactly what wrestling is to me.
When you guys wrestle each other, are you stiff with each other? You know,
She is.
You?
Yeah, I am too.
I feel like if someone chops you, they might hurt their hand.
It's just a chop.
Do you think we'll get to a point where you guys work each other?
In AEW, it's tricky because they're not big on intergender violence. I'd love to beat the crap out of Taya.
Well, here we are. The stars of Johnny Loves Taya.
Hello.
Wow, it is great to see you guys.
Nice to see you
Good to be
too.
seen.
And welcome to the new studio.
Thank you.
You guys-
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is. West Coast Creative Studio. You guys look like stars here, and you rolled up in a black SUV.
I mean, come on.
There's an SUV fancy now.
Yeah.
We
Fancy.
didn't realize that.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's above Uber XL? Like
I
Uber
just
Black?
made that
Uber,
up.
He's just making things up. But yeah.
Uber Black Fancy. That's what you guys rolled up
yeah,
in.
we
Did
need
feel
our own-
fancy AF.
Yeah. We need our own little section. in
You
Uber.
started the last interview we did wearing the sunglasses, and like 5 minutes in, you're like, do I want to be sunglasses guy? I don't know. Should
That
I be?
sounds so John. Do I want to be
Oh,
sunglasses?
kind of like deja vu-ish like that.
Yeah. So we'll be sunglasses guy for now. We'll see how that
You can
goes.
take them off. Maybe you put them on.
I got my own here.
Oh, then maybe Taya needs to put these on.
Sunglasses.
This is
girl.
2 stars, right? Oh,
yeah.
wow. These are stars.
Yeah.
When you guys
I'm just
walk
in a
through,
bedazzled tracksuit, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you guys walk through the airport together,
We make people shine.
and even if people don't know anything about wrestling, they're probably like, who are these people?
Didn't you just ask me that like the other week? You were like, "What does it feel like to like walk around in real life with yellow hair?" And I was like, "I mean, people stare at me on a regular basis, with or without yellow hair, because I don't know. I
Because
guess
you're
we don't
always
look.
wearing like fur or leather or feathers, and
Yeah, we
people
just don't
know
exactly-
that she can do it better.
We just
Better than you.
we don't exactly blend into the crowd. So
It's like you guys were made for wrestling.
Well, we've talked about the airport test before, haven't we?
That's a real thing.
yeah,
That is a real thing.
Taya passes the airport test every time.
1000%.
and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad.
It's a good thing.
That means you're a star.
It just means
it's
that.
a good thing if you're
Who's
a pro
this
wrestler.
weird looking
I mean,
chick?
if you're like a teacher or a librarian, maybe no. Especially if you're an undercover cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not doing that for a living. That's for sure.
Yeah, if you were any of those things, you wouldn't want to stand out.
Yeah.
You guys are pro wrestlers for a living. That
Yeah.
Your job is to stand out.
Actors, entertainers,
Yeah.
producers, writers,
And when-
creatives.
Yeah, when it comes
those
to Johnny Loves Taya,
storytellers.
you're wearing all of those hats, is that right?
A lot of them.
I would say
Yeah.
this is a 3-person collaboration. A friend of ours, Justin Donaldson, has been shooting, like directing, editing,
Yeah.
supervising posts, doing so much work. But we collaborate together on the stories. And say after we leave here, we have 1 day to finish all that we need for episode 10. It's mostly done.
We have pickups, yeah. So we're gonna do some
Yeah.
like confessional shoots and some different things later today. But yeah, it's like never ending. But we're almost done. The season finale is coming out, and it's just been like so much work and a labor of love. And like I just feel like we are so much more layered than just pro wrestlers, you know. And it's been an opportunity for us to showcase how creative and how different we can be than some other, you know, pro wrestlers or different stories that you see about couples and stuff like that. So
Like, do you know any other pro wrestlers who would buy a skateboard, cut it in half, put it on the trucks, and then ratchet a llama on a stick to it so they could ride it down a hill?
I also witnessed this yesterday.
I also had to glue sliders to my shoes so I could slide.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Just wait till the finale. If you went on my Instagram story yesterday, you would have seen that I was like, and here's the other thing. All the tools in our house are mine.
Yeah,
They're
and they're
mine.
labeled.
They're like, Kira's toolbox.
Don't touch.
Do not touch. And he was on the patio sawing a skateboard together to make this rig to shoot this one part of the finale pickups and stuff. And I was just in the house going, oh my God, I hope he doesn't cut his finger off.
Like, why is he drilling?
And we don't have like a tool bench or like a table to do any of this. So he's put this skateboard across 2 like
Well, all I have is exercise
box
stuff.
jump
It's like
boxes.
plyometric boxes and weights.
and weights holding the skateboard down because I was like, it's gonna hit you back. Like it's gonna, you know, what if it comes back onto you or something? And he's just like putting up weights, and I was watching it from inside, and I'm like, this is not good.
felt
Even
like-
my mom like texted me. She's like, "What is John doing with?"
It really makes you feel like Regal's original theme music.
He's a
Such
man.
Such a man.
Yeah, with your wife's
I'm a real,
tools. I'm gonna bedazzle them
real
next
man,
time.
man.
What was the original pitch for this? Was it to Tony? Did you say we want to put together a reality show?
No, first of all, it's not a reality show. It's a rom-com scripted.
Oh yeah, this
Series.
is fully scripted.
It's fully
Well,
scripted.
But so I think
Aren't reality shows also fully scripted?
no,
They can go back and
be.
forth. They should be.
Or they should cast good actors.
I think for when we came up with the idea was because we were finally getting put together in AEW, and we were trying to find a way to introduce us again to that audience. Because even though a lot of people might know us from Lucha Underground, from Impact, from AAA, from everything else we've done, we are very aware that like a lot of the AEW audience like might have to be reintroduced to us or like get to know us again.
They also may know you guys as individuals.
Yes, 100%.
And not as a couple.
And I had already been like in AEW for like 6-7 months when John and I started finally being together. So we really wanted to find a creative way for them to get to know us. So the original idea was for Johnny Loves Taya to kind of be like a backstage segment, and then also like try to find a way to incorporate it for like pushing like an angle or something, right? Like speaking about the person we're going to be wrestling or whatever the storyline is. And then from there, it kind of evolved into what it is today. And like we had been pitching this back in like September, and just like any story or anything, like it's going to take convincing. It's going to take us, like we had come up with the jingle. Brenda Campbell like did all our music. We had come up with like
way too many ideas.
way too many ideas, but we had like 2 or 3 different like I don't know how you want to call it, like 2-minute segments that we had made to like proof of concept, for example, about what we wanted to do. And then finally like Sanjay, Mike Manseri, Tony Khan, everybody kind of was like,
But we brought Justin to that one show in Ontario.
yeah, to like shoot stuff. And like eventually like everyone, one day it was like, we love it. Let's make it. Let's do 10 episodes. Like
The beauty of it is because it lives online, you have the time and creative autonomy to put out what you want.
Yeah.
If it's a segment on like Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, something like that, there's not enough time and there's not enough like real estate on those shows.
Yeah.
So if you really want to get into the nitty gritty of our relationship, who we are,
and
as
storytelling
people,
that way in depth.
and also it's heightened because we're nuts. I guess in real life too, but
100% in real life.
especially in this show, like we go like hard.
Yeah, and we really are like such creative perfectionists, and we both have so many ideas. So we wanted to make sure that like whatever we were putting out there, you know, is genuine to us and makes sense and is funny and different and makes people think. And like whenever you're putting your art out there for the world to see, there's going to be people that get it and there's going to be people that don't get it. But we just were very confident in like the concept and everything, and like we started shooting it in
The
November.
little wing quote.
Okay. We started
Me,
wait,
I
I finished.
just well, I wanted to do my little wing quote.
But like we started
It's
shooting
sit
it.
right there. Now it's gonna be too late. Go ahead.
We
It's
started
time, please.
We started
No.
shooting in November, and as you can tell, we're still, like we said, doing pickups for the finale, but we shot the finale in February. Like, you know, it's been a never-ending labor of love. Okay, continue.
You can give us the
Well,
line.
no, it's too late.
It's not too. It's not
Okay,
too late.
Well, Lil Wayne, like someone asked him like how he decides what music to make or like what's his why.
Yeah.
He's like, yo man, I just make whatever I think is cool, and if you like it, we'll probably get along. And if you don't like it, then we probably ain't gonna be cool. And
Yeah.
it's like it makes a lot of sense. Like if you're trying to create something to please somebody else, then it's not authentic to you. Then it's see through, and I guess that's what
It's
makes you
not genuine.
like a sellout. Really, kind of. You're just like, how can I figure out how to hack the system? That's not really art then.
Yeah.
And neither one of us wanted to do that.
No, we were very...
Like we want to do a very specific thing, and to do that, you have to sometimes go outside the box, and that's what we did.
There's a lot of outside of the box here. Like
What do you mean, Chris?
it's episode 8, the musical.
Oh my gosh.
So good. Not only that both of you guys clearly went for it, but the writing of these songs, the
Brenna killed it.
singing, the
Yep.
dancing.
When we say
the
singing
outfits.
and dancing, let's say singing and dancing. I might have had to change my name to Johnny Auto-Tune for that episode.
That episode, I don't think people realized, and I don't think we did when Justin came up with the idea for it, how much work was going to go into that episode.
We turned that on in 10 days.
Wow.
10 days from I've got an idea to writing the songs, recording tracks for us to sing to, us recording our own tracks, then recording the video, then editing, and then turning it in.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was so much work. And
I got a side question for you, Chris. Hey, we're going to do a song where you and two of your friends just are all dancing together.
Uh-huh.
She's like, oh, I got my two friends. Do you
I
have any
choreographed-
friends?
I choreographed
If
everything.
someone asked you, hey, do you have two friends that want to dance with you in a video?
You should have called me. I would have done it.
Actually, you being a dancer would have been freaking hilarious.
Because when I saw you guys in Iron Claw, you guys were like, we're filming this thing.
Yeah, we were doing
the opening
pickups for
credits.
it.
Maybe
yeah.
you could be part of this. I'm like, done. Let me know. And never got the call, so.
Listen,
But
season
can you-
2.
Yeah?
Keep
can
your
you
keep your
dance?
phone on.
I mean, can you?
No. It doesn't matter.
I mean, you've got enough athleticism that it doesn't look like you can't dance.
I rely on the power moves, though, pretty heavy.
As you
I
should.
have no rhythm.
John has no rhythm and can't count music. I'm sorry.
But he's got a
to
wonderful
everybody.
teacher in you.
Oh yeah.
She'll let me know frequently.
I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I've been dancing and doing musical theater since I was 2 years old.
And
you
it
know?
shows.
But I was like, how can you not feel this? How can you not understand this? And it was just such a learning curve for both of us because I've just
You
never.
were training to
I never
be a
not
professional
known how to-
ballerina. Musical theater until you were 17, 18?
22.
Yeah, you were on this path of you were in music and theater and then wrestling.
It's all the same.
Is it?
Yes, it's all the same.
Ballet with body slams, really. is
It's
what we're
literally
doing.
all the
I
same.
feel like this one maybe hurts a little bit more.
No. If you've done ballet,
ballet is
ballet's
very painful.
yeah, ballet is one of the hardest things you could ever. That's why I hate when people are like, wrestling's not ballet. I'm like, have you done ballet? Anyone who says that, it's because they've never done ballet and never had a crazy teacher that.
Huh. I'm going to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
What's the most painful thing in ballet?
Have you been dancing on your toes since you were 9 years old like I did?
I mean, I can't say I have, no.
There you go.
Are your toes, do they look like
You know how,
ballerina
Michael
toes?
Jackson does that thing where his hands way up and then his toe tips?
Yeah.
I was 9 years old when my ballet teacher told my mom that I was going to go on point. And I was the youngest person in the school at that point. And yeah, I was dancing in point shoes since I was 9. So
Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess, so your feet hurt from that.
well, yeah,
It's just different parts of your body, right?
yeah, it's probably not good for your ankles and your hips and your
Maybe
feet
your
as a tiny
overall
child.
growth.
But also
in general.
I don't know, that was just I've always been an artistic person that presents my art through movement, and that's exactly what wrestling is to me.
So if you've been watching the channel long enough, you know that I'm not always wearing t-shirts for interviews. I like to suit it up, whether I'm covering the red carpet for something like the Iron Claw in Dallas, or I'm sitting down for a celebrity interview, or this interview as well, the one with Cody that we did on his bus. But the problem I've always run into with business casual menswear is finding something that's high quality, but at the same time also durable. And that's what I found with Roan. And look at that, through the magic of editing, I am now wearing my favorite dress shirt ever from Roan's Commuter Collection. And they have products for every occasion. On top of these dress shirts, they've also got the world's most comfortable pants, quarter zips, polos, and blazers. So the thing that makes this shirt so good is how comfortable it is. 4-way stretch technology, that means it stretches both this way and this way. So no matter how you move, no matter how you're sitting in an interview, it's gonna be comfortable. I'll also let you in on something. I don't love getting my clothes dry cleaned because it's just such a hassle. Roan's Commuter Collection is treated with Gold Fusion anti-odor technology, which means more wears between washes and no lingering odors. You know what I'm talking about. You put the shirt on, you go, yeah, good enough. None of that here. Try it out for yourself at roan.com/CVV and use the code CVV to get 20% off your entire order. That's RHONE.com/CVV. Use the code CVV to get 20% off this shirt is just so good.
What do you think Johnny Loves Taya leads into in terms of AEW storylines?
Well, I think it's really helped us to remind people of who we are, establish us again as, characters together. I think it like positively influenced the way that people perceive us when we were doing our angle with Dalton Castle and everything like that. And like moving forward, like I just, we hope to be able to create a second season, and we hope to continue doing this because we've had a lot of fun. And
In general, yeah, I think that's the main thing.
Yeah.
It's really fun for us to do. We get to do it together.
Mm-hmm.
It's like for work, technically, but it's a really fun way to spend time together.
yeah, and we hope that, ideally, if the network wants to give us a 30-minute sitcom, that'd be great. I'm gonna reach for the stars here. Hello,
Let's put that out there.
into the camera.
Yeah, we do a 4-hour sitcom.
But I would love that. I mean, this is just a calling card for how creative and amazing. No, but like how creative and how hardworking we are, and in making things and creating art and content, because we're passionate about it, and I think it comes across in every episode.
But here's the thing with art is people only see the finished product. They only see
They don't know the.
Exactly. They only see the whatever it is, 4 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever. They just see that episode. How much goes into each episode?
Depends on the episode.
Like Nigel called and said he was gonna go roll around like 11, and I just woken up and I was like, so last night our editor's power went out, and at 2 a.m. I drove to Calabasas to pick him up to drive him to our house
To make sure that
so he could finish the edit and export it and
To
get it
AEW's
to AEW
social
before
media
the
team.
deadline.
There's been so many.
basically, like I'm not like gonna be able to make it. People don't know that. Like that's just one little example of like how much goes into it. There's sound, audio, lighting.
Well, it's writing.
And the meetings we've had and the creative, like sitting down and being like, hey, what are some stories we can talk about? Because every single episode is something that's kind of happened in our life that we've just kind of recreated in like a more comedic way.
Yeah.
For example, like the shark party. I always go back to that because
Yeah.
shark parties have been going on in our house for years.
We've had some
Presley's,
Shark Party ragers.
Yeah, we've had Shark Party Ragers. Even the Shark Party that was on Johnny Loves Taya was like nothing compared to some of these Shark Parties we've had. But like we take these like real life funny things that like happen to us or with
And
our
it's
friends.
Like Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm are very similar. They take stories that are real that have happened to members of the cast to heighten them and then apply them to an episode.
Yeah, and that's what we've tried to do. And we're just very lucky that we've had such a supportive, LA team. And when I say that, I mean Justin, who's worked so hard, Brenna doing all our music, friends who have shown up and, been in episodes. My girlfriend's coming, like Lauren Holly, to learn choreography and get cake thrown in their face. Like we've had so many people that are also just being very supportive of it. And everyone at AEW for, getting behind this crazy idea and letting us make this crazy kooky series for them.
It also shows off how great of actors you guys are. And I mean this with great respect. There's wrestling acting sometimes, and there's like acting. And what you guys are doing here like feels very authentic.
Thank you.
I would agree. And I think that Taya is like an extremely natural actor. Her process and my process are so different.
Ooh, what are they?
She just nails it on the first take usually. And then I want the script overnight and I want to read it and make notes and have like little motivations and secrets and all the crap.
Yeah, and I'm like, why can't you just do it? Like but I mean, that's how we are with promos too. But I also, to be fair though, like I know who Taya is better than anybody else. So when I'm like being Taya on the show or being Taya in a promo backstage or whatever it is, I know exactly how I want to be in that moment. And like, if I was playing a different character, maybe it would be different. But yeah, I feel like I just am able to, and even though like Taya on Johnny Loves Taya and Taya in a promo about the boys being eaten by bears with Dalton Castle are completely different versions of me, they're still the same. If that makes sense. I don't know.
I get caught up in lateral moves, if you know what I mean.
In terms of your character?
So, if you're like acting, you can say a line 5 different ways.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like I could just pick one.
These
Boom,
pretzels
and
are making me thirsty.
Yeah, and
These pretzels
Which
are
one?
making me thirsty.
these pretzels are making me thirsty. Like, what do you enunciate? That's a concept called Tarzan words, actually.
That's a real thing?
Yes, like picking which words to enunciate versus which ones to gloss over.
Huh.
So the more like you look into that, then you're like, I could have just said these pretzels are making me thirsty.
Yeah, which is
But
probably
now
how
I
you'd say
just
it in real
wrote
life.
that down
Yeah.
and started underlining pretzels and thirsty and
And that's what
R.
he will do. Whereas I'm just like, Taya would say it like this, and I would just say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the very little bit of acting training that I did, I think one of the biggest things I learned was like in real life, you don't think about punctuation. You just kind of talk. The words are coming out of your mouth. You're not thinking about comments or periods or whatever. But when you look at a script, you're like, these pretzels are making me thirsty. I'm going to eat one now. And like, it's just so strange because you kind of overthink it.
Completely. One thing actually that I've learned that I think is really funny to people who don't know this is you never really like hit pronouns really hard. Like he said this about this guy. You know what I mean? Like we should go to the beach. And if you do that, it's really awkward.
I was gonna say, I'm like, oh.
But I did one thing where I did that on purpose because the character was basically I was myself from the future. So like there's
and
the speed of time.
Speed
Oh,
of
yeah.
time.
Now I'm like-
with Nick Nemeth.
Nick Nemeth,
Big
Guest
star.
stars.
Nick Nemeth.
But like there's all these rules that are floating around my head like that, and Tarzan. Like,
He overthinks everything.
yeah, I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Whereas I'm just like, how can you not just spit it out?
Do you think any of this applies to what you're doing in the ring? Or you've both been doing what you're doing in the ring as wrestlers for so long that that's just second nature now?
I think it.
Regarding like the actual matches or promos.
I'd say matches. Like maybe you're not even thinking about stuff now.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely everything all correlates together. But also in matches, I feel like we don't have the time to like overthink certain
People-
aspects of it.
Don't realize how little time we have
Yeah.
to put matches together.
And also just in there, like if your time changes or if the fans are reacting a different way or if there was an accident or like there's a million things that can go in different ways, right? So
Yeah.
you're just kind of going instinctually.
That's a different muscle, right?
Yeah.
Is actually being able to listen.
Yeah.
Because I would
And
think
change in that second.
right, because I would think someone who's early on in their career is just going, no, this is the match we planned. We need to do this.
I need to
A, B,
give
C,
you
D,
three
E, F, G.
forearms, three forearms and duck
Yeah.
this and kick this. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like when you're in there, and especially on live television and on pay-per-views and different things, like things can change in 0.5 of a second and you just have to be ready to adapt with it. So you don't have the
Yeah.
time to like overthink the pronunciation of something or the...
And how
Right.
often are you like, you think you're halfway through the match with what you've planned, and then the ref's going, 1 minute left, and you're like, oh.
I feel like it goes both ways. Sometimes
Okay.
I'm like, holy, this feels like it's going forever kind of thing. And then sometimes you're like, oh my God. Like, and then you're like,
Usually
get
it's
to
that
the-
one.
that one,
They
yeah.
cut your time.
not even that.
Every once in a while, though, you're like, okay, we hit the break spot. And they're like, okay, 10 minutes on the other side of break. You're like, 10?
Yeah, it's very like it's
We've thought
mostly
about it
now,
before.
and I feel like now, especially because like I've gotten in the rhythm of like how time feels at AEW, and I know it's like a weird thing, but it feels different everywhere.
Sure.
But like how it feels and how the TV time feels, that now I feel like it goes by so quickly. Whereas before, or when you're getting used to just like how they call the times or how they break down matches, or like because every TV show is different, it kind of like screws with your head a little bit because you're just still figuring it out. But now I'm like, what do you mean 3 minutes already gone by? Like it just like.
This is like a strange analogy, but like say you're talking on the microphone versus wrestling a match. If you're gonna make a point, maybe you take a pause before you make the point. Like the last thing my dad told me before I never saw him again was "ba-da-da," and you spit it out. In wrestling, the pause is physical. It's not necessarily like a verbal breath. It's like if you're gonna punch someone in the head, like you don't just do that. You can kind of like grab them and like think about it for as long as you want, and then deliver a strike.
Right.
And they mean different things. They have different types of intent, but in that aspect, they're very similar. Because you're storytelling either way.
How many ideas do you guys have for season 2 and beyond?
I mean, we can't divulge all the secrets.
But you've got a bunch.
We have
So
a guest
many.
star spot for Chris Van Vliet.
Oh, okay.
So many.
Yeah, we have a lot of ideas. And also, I think it's really fun
I'll
because,
tell
like,
you what my idea was for you already, like after when we get off.
yeah,
Okay.
we can't,
Oh, I
we
can't
can't tell
wait.
everybody on camera.
Okay, well, I'm
But-
in. I don't even care what it is. I'm in.
But it's
Right.
so fun because, like, I feel like at first people were just like, what is this weird thing that you guys are doing kind of thing, or didn't get it. And now it's cool because, like, I have so many people who are like, so when can I be in an episode? And they're like,
Right.
are you guys going to be shooting another episode? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, we're done. We're done, guys.
The response has been really good. Like, if you look at the comments, like, people are like, yes, this is equal parts hilarious and a little bit silly and goofy, but
And that's
like
the
so
thing.
good.
Yeah, I want people to just have fun with it and not overthink it and not, try to analyze it, because it is that. It's campy. It's John and I. It's our characters. It's,
I think
Presley
it has
and
to be
Bowie are stars.
based on the fact that we like really care about each other. I mean, in real life, obviously, but in the show, the two characters really care about each other.
Yeah.
And if you're watching a show and you can tell like the two characters just hate each other,
Yeah.
it's not fun to watch.
Yeah. Is this a little bit of your dog's on your shoulder there?
Oh my God, totally. I got Bowie on me.
Oh yeah, he does that.
They're with you everywhere.
They're literally everywhere. Yeah.
I mean, every other interview I've done with you guys at your house, they've made a cameo at some point. So
They're very disappointed that
Whether
they're not
on
here.
camera or just off camera.
They're
barking.
booked. They're booked right now.
they might be more famous than you guys.
I mean, Presley has his own action figure now, so Bowie's upset. because he
Bowie's
doesn't-
thinking about doing an only pause. He's
Oh
just
my
not talented.
gosh.
You know.
Just paw pictures.
He's
Oh yeah.
just pictures
Yeah.
of his toe bean.
Little toe bean pics.
His one pink toe bean that he has on his back foot. A lot of money we made.
It's gonna be expensive if you want to see that, guys.
You debuted as Johnny Elite.
Yes.
Now you're Johnny TV. What made the switch happen?
I think because Johnny Elite, like the Elite is a group already that's established. And I think Johnny Elite was like Tony's first idea. And then when I came back and I'm now signed full time, it doesn't make full sense to have a Johnny Elite and a group called the Elite. Hence Johnny TV. And TV, like we mentioned last time, TV is perfect because it's ambiguous. It could stand for anything.
You've had so many names. Like, why not just be John Hennigan now?
That's too late. I like kind of this fake name thing because it's almost like I'm someone else in the ring. Whereas John Hennigan, like I could play that. It wouldn't necessarily have to be me, just like an actor playing a role in a movie. But the Johnny TV thing just spurs a whole bunch of ideas. Like, what if I was suddenly like Lawnmower Man and I could come out of TVs? What if I have like a TV power? Like that TV is off and suddenly it flicks on and
Not
it's
Lawnmower
me
Man.
cutting a promo. Like, there's all kinds of just fun like puns and things that go along with TV.
And also, TV stands for Taya Valkyrie, guys. Come on.
It could.
Does the last name have to have 2 syllables so we can chant it? Because you were saying the thing about John Hennigan is you can't chant John Hennigan.
That's another thing.
John Hennigan.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Johnny Hennigan.
So it's
Doesn't
gonna
really
be like,
work.
Hennigan. Like,
Okay.
but like Johnny TV. Yeah. that's-
Johnny Mundo. Yeah, they
Right.
all work. Johnny Nitro. Johnny Impact.
Yep.
Wow.
There you go.
There's
Yeah.
many more. Keep going.
Johnny Blackcraft.
Yeah. You got a lot.
Caballero. But like Johnny Caballero was specifically designed for people because I was a heel. Instead of saying Caballero, to say a word that rhymes with Caballero in Spanish. Isn't that so nice?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm unaware of this.
Swear words. We're not
People
going
that
there.
speak Spanish will know what we're talking about here.
Yep.
How many of these are trademarked?
None.
You know, I realized it's almost pointless. Like, I wish I had trademarked Nitro or Morrison, but I couldn't because they were WWE's IP, and they were pretty good about renewing the trademark upon expiration. So then, like, if I trademarked Impact, then I go to Lucha Underground,
Well, that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
and then I go to AEW. Like,
Yeah.
wherever I go now, I think I'm gonna have to change my name.
But I feel like that's part of it's the gimmick.
Yeah, that's the appeal.
And people are like, I don't understand why he keeps changing his name. I'm like, do you not get the joke? Like that's
I've had like more names than more John-based names probably than anyone in the history of wrestling.
Oh, definitely.
The hero with 1,000 names.
Yeah, I mean, who else could possibly have that many? I think Johnny Gargano has 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I challenged him, by the way, for Johnny Wrestling one time.
Oh, what happened?
He was excited.
Okay.
But then he ended up signing. And
then it never.
Well, maybe in the future sometime.
never
yeah.
know.
I thought that would be a cool match.
The Battle of... Oh, man.
Battle of Johnnies.
You could have had
The winner of this match gets the moniker Johnny Wrestling.
You could have had a series here and it goes back and forth.
We could have like a best out of 21 or something.
That could have been great.
I mean, mixed tags, all of it.
Wow. You could have been Johnny Wrestling for a little bit. Yeah, that's right. Mixed tags. Husband and wife versus husband and wife.
Yep.
Feel bad for his wife. Yeah.
No, that's true. I feel bad for anybody who's in there with Taya.
I've wrestled Taya. I know. Trust me.
When you guys wrestle each other, like, are you a little bit more stiff with each other? You know,
She is.
You?
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
Well, there's this unwritten rule where like the closer of a friend you are with someone in the ring, usually you hit them a little harder.
100%.
For some
and you
reason.
can't get any closer a friendship than husband-wife.
Yeah.
And I feel like, like some of my best matches are like against my best friends. And like every time I'm just like, what the hell? But she's also saying the same thing. And we're just like laughing almost.
But you know, no
Hitting the
one's
shit
gonna
out of
be
each
mad. Like when you come back, like no one's mad. Everyone's happy. The match is good, and it kind of like you get kicked, and then you're like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna kick you back.
Remember when you didn't return that dress you borrowed?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you know it's not intentional. You know they're not hitting you
course.
because
100%.
right. Although, but at the same time, aren't you like, I don't want to hurt my wife. I don't want to hurt my husband. Or are you like, didn't take the trash out?
remember when you left those dishes in the sink?
Yeah.
First of all, like she's got plenty of reasons to want to kick me in the head. And second of all, like I've kicked her really hard, and she is very tough. Like tougher than a lot of guys.
I remember in AAA a bunch of times, and he was always pitching like misdirection spots where like I'm the one getting kicked.
She's holding somebody.
Pentagon, and Pentagon moves the other way, and I get kicked.
Super kick.
And every time I was like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? And like I just have like a boot mark on the side of my face, and like all our Phoenix and Pentagon after are just laughing, like ha ha ha. I'm like, this is not funny, guys.
Pentagon looks like he really lays it in. Maybe he's just a master.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But even like Gunther was like, I've never been chopped harder than I was chopped by Pentagon. I'm like, if Gunther's saying that, then that's a hard
And
chop.
Penta's the one that taught me how to chop.
Oh boy.
So we'll just put it at
He has the gloves on. Does that make it worse?
well, and then he slowly takes it
true.
off.
Yes.
But yeah, I remember when I was first in Mexico, and I would do the traditional like this way chop, and I just could not. It never made noise. It looked like shit. Like it was just not. It was not cute. And then Penta was like, "You have to do it like you have to throw it like a baseball," and he taught me to throw it overhand like a baseball. So that's why I chop like that. And now I'm like,
I don't chop.
Why not?
Basically, there's nothing worse than like a quiet.
yeah,
chop.
no, it has to make noise, and that was the biggest thing he taught me. And like now I love and over. But also like if you want to chop me, I have no problem. And I always ask people that like, do you
Same.
want to get chopped?
Yeah.
Are you a person that doesn't like it? You know, sort of things like
if
that.
you want to chop me and it gets a reaction, great.
Yeah, and like it's not like I'm a
And they usually do.
but it has to make noise.
I feel like if someone chops you, they might hurt their hand. Like you're just
Nah, I'm pretty good. Like
you don't have much body fat.
Yeah, but it's just a chop.
It's just chop. Yeah.
The secret
It's
to
not
chop,
that bad.
like, if you open up and give a target, you can get a good noise, and you can always tell someone's a little bit like
It's one of
scared
these.
when they do like a little bit of a shoulder turn because they've had too many chops, so they can't quite take it.
Oh.
Which is a really fun thing to look at during a chop exchange. You're like, oh, one of these guys is gonna give in. Who's it gonna be? And whoever does like one of those first
Oh.
is the guy that like kind of
Like,
lost.
yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I've taken chops, and
I was gonna say I feel like I've seen some video of
I
you
went
taking
to
chops.
Sean Spears and Tyler Breeze's wrestling school, and
Flatbacks. Right?
yes, which is a great school in Central Florida. And they were like, Spears was like, but I give you a chop. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take a chop. Like I used to train. I'm fine with that. I'm
Yeah,
like,
didn't you do a springboard
On his first try.
I did in your backyard.
Yeah, when we had the ring
Was like
on Varna.
thought that he
Varna
would fall. I was like, don't reach down. You're gonna like, and he's just
like, whoop. I remember
perfect
being there and being like,
springboard.
what the hell?
I got lucky.
that and you're athletic. I don't know.
Look, I
little
wanted
combo.
I wanted to do this very badly, and I was at a crossroads, and I was like, I will choose my communication studies degree, and wrestling will always be there. And I'm grateful that happened, but I feel like Chris Sharp is my wrestling character. I feel like Chris Sharp is still.
He's in there.
He's in here somewhere, and every
He'll
once
come
in a
out
while.
in season 2 of Johnny
Let me borrow
Loves
these
Taya.
for a second. Every once in a while,
Oh yeah.
Oh, there he is.
he comes out.
Chris Sharp could be a manager.
He could be. I think I'm fine just asking questions. Thank you for letting me borrow these
true,
to
that's
prove
true.
my point. I think I'm fine with that.
Well,
'cause
I think Chris Sharp should definitely come out in season 2.
I don't know if we want him to
You're not
come out.
CBV in season 2. You're
Oh boy,
Chris Sharp.
Chris Sharp.
I've already got that. I guess your name could be Chris Sharp.
We'll discuss it afterwards.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who cares? When's bearacane happening?
Oh, jeez.
Did you see episode 9?
I did.
The script of Bearacane too. Bearacane is still TBD. It's people are clamoring for it. People, especially Revelstoke. There's a lot of bears that they would be good for. Get them work.
They've seen the poster.
Yep.
We've had a lot of bear related storylines.
Yeah.
Tony Khan could fund this. I feel like he should.
Bearacane.
Bearacane.
Tony Bearacane, and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 5.
Franchise.
Yeah.
Theme parks.
I mean, if Sharknado could work, Bearacane it's right there.
No.
Right there for the
Right?
taking.
And CGI is so much better now.
Very true.
Originally I pitched Bearacane to the Sharknado guys because I was in Sharknado 5.
That's right.
And they specifically said that
This is
the
funny.
fur on the bears is like way more expensive than a CGI shark.
oh, wow.
And
They turned it down.
Sense.
yeah.
Yeah. But I think the technology's improved.
2024, 2025,
Isn't the whole
we could do
thing with something like that? They make each individual hair on the animal, right? Isn't that how it works?
Not a CGI
For
person.
CGI or practical?
Well, it'd be CGI.
CGI.
You're not having
We're not-
practical bears.
Well,
No,
you
you
could have
have to
people
have-
in bear suits.
You have to have both for what I want to do because see Sharknado, they're just shooting sharks with guns.
It got a little ridiculous.
Bearacane, I think
You want to wrestle sharks.
I want to be hitting like Canadian destroyers in these things.
Yeah.
Man.
And like that's like a whole different level of like difficulty.
So who's going to be in these bear suits? It
All
has
of
to
our
be
friends
wrestlers,
that we
right?
convinced.
Tall wrestlers that can take Canadians.
Yeah. Isn't that every wrestler?
And misdirections of super kicks
sure.
right in the face.
Yeah.
Can every wrestler take a Canadian destroyer?
No.
No,
Oh.
Ms. can't.
What? Oh. Isn't it just you jump?
No.
Oh.
There's a little more to it.
Yeah.
For some reason, I think you could.
I'd love to give it a try.
Maybe Chris Sharp could though for sure.
Oh, might need to borrow those glasses. I'd be really worried about landing on my head.
It's the secret is you have to trust the person that is delivering the Canadian
I trust you
because they can
were
protect
holding
you or not.
Yeah.
with your legs.
Yeah, and if they don't protect you, you have to protect yourself.
You look like you gave a great one. Bunny gave a great one. Bad Bunny gave a great one to you.
If
you
you watch
protected
it
him.
back, he didn't really protect me. He didn't know. He did. His timing and everything was perfect.
It looked fantastic though.
But I knew ahead of time. If you watch back, my elbows were
arms were
past my head, which is the secret for it.
To protect yourself.
Because if you land on your head, you're landing all your weight on your neck.
Yeah. So
But if he's supporting himself like with his
So
shoulders.
if you've got the
basically.
guy's legs and you land like this,
Yeah.
you're landing basically on that, which I spend a lot of time training because I'm mostly
To protect
read
yourself,
about that weird
yeah.
stuff.
so why didn't it work with Bad Bunny?
No, it's perfect.
Oh, it was perfect.
But he
I just like
Protect
that was the
yourself.
first Canadian he gave live, and he did his timing was perfect.
He didn't even practice on like crash mats?
No, we practiced on crash mats.
Oh, okay.
But I mean live,
Oh, yeah.
and like also like without the crash mat.
Oh, Man.
There's a couple on the crash mats that we did. There was one he gave me on a crash mat that like almost flew out of the ring.
Man.
He's a very quick and good learner, like because he could whip and tuck and grab, so we'd get a lot of momentum, which made me feel really good about hitting it at WrestleMania.
And you did it, and it looked great. And that was kind of like, that was a line in the sand, I think, for people to go, oh, Bad Bunny actually can do this thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he cares, and it shows. Like that, I think, is the biggest thing for sure.
Yeah, he didn't just, from what I understand, didn't just show up.
No, well, we talked
the-
about this last time.
Yeah.
Too. He moved to Orlando and trained.
Yeah, and same with the match
Very
with Priest.
seriously. Yep.
Yeah.
He's does not want to have a bad wrestling match because he really respects and is a fan of the business.
Yeah.
And he's got all that entertainment background, so he knows how to entertain. If anyone, like, to me, I think he's the most high profile, humble, and deserving, like, star celebrity guest that wrestling's had.
He's such a megastar, and for him to be willing to take those risks is actually pretty crazy. And he pulled it off.
Yep.
Pulled it off.
But he's a fan his whole life, you know, and he
Yeah.
committed to it. And John's an expert with celebrity matches.
Yeah. And maybe one day we'll still collaborate on one of those reggaeton songs.
Yeah.
Oh, so it could go both ways.
Maybe on season 2 of Johnny Loves Taya, he could do the musical version 2 episode. You never know.
Oh, it won't.
Bad Bunny. No.
I feel like
Hey,
we need a title shot for you, Taya. I feel like this needs to happen.
I mean, duh.
Yeah. I feel like people who have maybe just only seen your work in AEW and aren't familiar with what you've done in AAA, Lucha Underground,
very annoying.
Impact. Well, it's just
When
that,
people act like they don't know. Because
well, maybe they don't know. Maybe
They don't.
yeah. I mean, clearly they don't know, or else, you know.
I mean, there's some people that don't. Remember the first time we went out together, and when we came back, like, there's a dozen people that were like,
wow,
"Whoa,
you guys have really good
you have
chemistry."
great
And we were like,
chemistry and your timing," and we're like, "Well, we started working together in 2015." And have worked in
We've been married almost 6 years.
You know we're married, right?
AAA,
Yeah.
we've worked each other.
How many countries have you guys wrestled in together? It's got to be like a dozen, right? Maybe more.
I don't know.
Over 10.
A lot.
But
Yeah,
we
like,
worked together quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so that's why it was
very interesting. Yeah.
So where do these people who haven't seen that work, did they need to go back to AAA? Should they watch some of those matches?
I hate referring people to old matches because if we had a match tomorrow, it would be so much better than the stuff
Yeah,
we've
like
done in
when
the
I even
past.
when I watch like clips of us on Lucha Underground, which like people bring up all the time, or Impact, which when we were both like heel champions and everything, like I just kind of almost still giggle at it because I'm like, oh my god, this feels like it was so long ago, and we've evolved and changed so much, and I feel like our confidence and everything has evolved so much, and I think that that's what's interesting now is like we have grown both not only as human beings, but as a married couple, as performers, and as entertainers, that like whatever we're putting out now is just even so much better than what it was, even though people always want to go back and be like, well, I really liked this. I'm like, well, let us show you how much more cool and better we are now. And I'm just excited to see what's going to happen next with our stories and where we're going to go. And for both of us to have the opportunity to showcase what we've worked our entire lives in, which is entertaining and pro wrestling. And the magic that is Johnny and Taya on TV. So
I think people bring up Lucha Underground because they're very nostalgic.
always everyone loves them.
yeah.
You know?
And that was one of those things that was taken away, like before we were ready for it to be taken away.
Yeah.
It's like when the boyfriend or girlfriend breaks up with you instead of you breaking up with them. You're like, oh, but I still
I'm not ready.
Yeah, we were gonna go to that wedding together this summer.
Yeah.
And then you win them back, and then you break up with her just so you can win.
Ah. Just so it ends on your terms.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
But yeah, like for us, even like the next season that was going to come of Lucha Underground, we were supposed to feud.
Because
Guys.
the finale was she was possessed by that demon.
I was possessed by a demon. I was a god.
And
I attacked him in a locker room and strangled him on the
Did you
bench.
see that? I did it, babe. And she's like, I'm not your wife.
Yeah.
Goose
I'm
like,
a god.
I'm a god. And like
So
special
like we
effects.
never got to do that, and it's so sad. So we also feel
I
the
know.
nostalgia. We also feel like the disappointment that we didn't get to finish the story. But
Like toggling back and forth between being like my wife and like this evil demon.
yeah, we had so many ideas you can only imagine. But yeah, like, but that's the thing. Like we love thinking about those things, but it's more exciting for both of us to think about like what's gonna happen and like for me to go after championships, for him to go after championships, for us to have new rivals.
And stories.
Yeah, stories more than anything, and just creating this new era of Johnny and Taya.
That's the biggest thing is stories what brings us into this. Stories what like makes us hooked in wrestling.
That's what I liked about the Dalton story. It didn't involve titles. And title is like everyone's first go-to. Like, who's the best? I'm the best. No, I'm the best. Let's see when we wrestle for the heavyweight title on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And that is cool. And like, that's something to be said. But since not every story can be that, it's good to think of other things.
Yeah. I think that both of you guys should have titles. And I think that it's just a matter of time before this happens.
For example, I'd love to see you versus Tony Storm or you versus Saraya. But in more than just like a one-off, like with a story.
Yeah.
Me and Tony have only wrestled one time in Calgary at Battle of the Belts last summer. And the finish of the match was actually not even on TV because of a hailstorm that happened in Calgary, Alberta. So no one even saw the finish of the match. And I think that the work that Tony Storm is doing right now as Timeless Tony Storm is absolutely fantastic. And I know that that character with Taya Valkyrie's character would be pretty iconic and very fun if it means that we are rivals, if it means that we are, two Hollywood starlets from different eras. It just would be very interesting. And then like what he said about Saraya, like Saraya and her brother are very interesting to us too, because neither of us have wrestled either one of them. I think that they're an interesting dynamic. I think that they would lead to first time matchups, also mixed tags and things, which we really want to do because we haven't had the opportunity to do any mixed tags, and we have really cute matching gear, guys.
Yeah, a lot of it.
And like, I just think would be really fun. And like,
they're both very good, but also very different from us.
Yeah, they're very different from us. They also, love wrestling and telling stories, and they, I think that we could really create something really magical and different, and it'd be special, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I think that
If they're TV ready.
Are they not?
That's our thing.
No, they're TV ready.
Are you TV ready?
I would not like to think so. I've been TV for 20 years now. Wow.
We'll have to test. We'll have to find out.
Find out. We got to get into the ring.
Yep.
But you got to do something crazier than a springboard.
Could I do Starship Pain?
Could you?
No.
Yes. You heard it here, folks.
No.
Next time, we're getting a ring. Chris Sharp. Dude, maybe it'll be Starship Pain.
Ooh.
There you go.
How did you come up with Starship Pain?
I went through this phase as John Morrison where I was writing poems. And one of them was called Starship Pain.
Well, but how'd you come up with the actual move of it?
Oh.
I'm like, what?
Well, yeah, the titles were interesting to me. So basically, my finish originally was Yang Time, corkscrew off the top. And even in my 20s, it started just taking a lot out of me. Like, that's a lot of impact on your knees, your elbows. And then I realized I could hit RVD's split leg with a twist. And it looks cool because it's fast. But if you think about, you're basically 3 to 4 feet lower. And that's much less, speed and, force on the landing. Which is, I came up with it basically to save my knees.
Wow. Is there anything now for both of you guys that when you get out of bed in the morning hurts?
Is there anything that doesn't hurt?
I feel great.
Taya watches me get up.
It's like a roll onto the ground.
And I have in Hollywood they call it efforts. Noises.
I'm like, are you gonna die? What is going on?
The rest of us call them dad noises.
Yeah, shut up.
I'm like, what is?
Just go to the bathroom and close the door.
Efforts.
You're waking me up.
Honestly, physically, I feel better now than I have in a long time.
Is it that your schedule is lighter now? Is that what it is?
I mean, I think there's just a number of things. I just think I take better care of myself. I think that I'm not wrestling 5 days a week. I think that I've just perfected my ability
Your
to
routine is dialed.
survive.
Like, you've been like training, strategy. You've been working hard.
Yeah, I work really hard. I've like lost almost 40 pounds in the last 10 months. There's just a lot of things, but I feel like, yeah, I'm just in like a really good place physically, mentally, the best I've felt, in probably years.
Yeah, you look dialed in.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look jacked
Thank you.
Stacked.
and
Ready to attack.
I'm like, oh no, where's it going?
it's you look like you're on top of your game too. Like, not that you ever weren't, but I don't know, there's something that you're doing now that feels like it's like the best you've been.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I also, because one of my girlfriends is like, what are you doing? What changed? Da, da, da. And I'm just like, and I think more than anything, it was like mentally being in a good place. And I feel like I was struggling a lot, especially after WWE, with self-confidence and anxiety from my whole experience. And like, it was my experience. No one can like say they know how I felt or what I went through or whatever. And the things that come from that and like the self-doubt and then, the internet and like people love to come after, I mean, anyone who's in the public eye. I feel like that goes for everybody, but I feel like women are given a lot harder time most of the time. And, I dealt with a lot of that. And
you responded too, which I really appreciate.
Yeah. And like I bite my tongue and I try to not instigate because when you respond, it creates like, it's like putting chum in the water and the sharks come. You know what I mean? Like it just, even though I feel like I have to stand up for myself and sometimes I just have to because I can't take it anymore. I've learned to just like step back and like separate myself from that because it's not real. And like, I just started just really taking a look inside myself and inside like what I want out of life and what I want professionally and personally and everything. And I've just been in a better place mentally where like I was ready to like make the changes that I needed to do to get to where I am now. And so I don't want to say like I don't care what people think anymore because that's not true.
No, but when you don't chum the water, basically.
Yeah, like I just started just being like, you know what? Like people are going to love me. People are going to hate me. People are going to have a problem no matter what I do. I'm not going to make everyone happy. People are going to talk shit about everything no matter what. And like Twitter X or whatever has just become an absolute cesspool of opinions from people that will never, ever live my life or understand where I'm coming from or can't lace my boots or can't like... People are giving opinions about things they don't even know.
Yeah.
They trip. I said like you trip falling out of bed and you're trying to tell me that I need to be better at my job. I'm like, I don't come to your work and tell you that. I don't know what you do for a living and I don't care. But like I've just come to a place where I just am confident in my ability and understanding that I will not make everyone happy and I have to be okay with that. And I think that has really changed my perspective and my confidence and what you see now is a result of that.
It's showing.
Confidence to me is like when I watch Taya now, I feel like she has 100% confidence, and out of that confidence, sometimes comes just like weird stuff.
Oh yeah, I do all sorts of weird things.
that you can't plan, but
it's
she
organic.
knows where the camera is, and it's organic, and those are the moments that you don't plan that just happen. That I think are the best.
And because I'm so much more confident in myself, more than the physical at all, I think it's definitely like a mental thing.
And like I learned
comes
this from
across.
Presley, basically. So Presley's a shark guy. He's a shark sexual. But
we're having a serious conversation, and you go to
sharks have to swim.
Welcome to my life, everybody.
So
like
if a shark stops swimming, it dies.
That's right.
And if you're not chumming the water, the sharks aren't swimming. So bop bop bop. There they go.
Killing the sharks.
Killed them sharks.
Yeah.
Confidence 100%. And now you get a TV ready Taya.
It's too much to call those people on Twitter sharks. So
we don't want to do that either.
Bottom feeders.
We just did sharks so we could make the
reference. The swimming.
wrestler,
Yes.
It goes way back to that Woody Allen quote.
But yeah, I don't know.
How does your brain work?
It's very complicated. I deal with this on a regular basis every day.
A relationship is kind of like a shark. When it stops moving, it's dead. And what we got here is a dead shark. You don't know that one?
No.
I think this was an Einstein quote, like life's like a bicycle. Like in order to keep the balance, you got to keep going.
Yeah, that or Forrest Gump. No, I think
Forrest
you're right.
Gump quote?
No, it was Einstein.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
That's that.
I know. I'm just.
You know, it's
Anyways.
life is like a box of chocolates too. That's the Mandela effect. People think it's life was like a box of chocolates.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I always thought it was life is.
Yeah. Oh, life is like a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
Life was like. No, it's the other way around. Life was like a box of.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that I am confident.
Chocolates.
I do what I want. I don't care what people say, and I work my butt off, and everyone should recognize that. There you
And
go.
they do. Yeah. Life was like a box of chocolates.
Either was or is. Chocolates are good. I like chocolate. Man.
I've always wanted to ask you about the moonsault with the ladder. How did you even think it was possible to do a moonsault with a ladder?
You know, I didn't really know.
It's another John
But
thing. I'm just gonna
WrestleMania-
figure it out, just live on television at WrestleMania.
So WrestleMania 24
Snooki.
comes out. No, this was before Snooki.
Was that before Snooki?
25, I think, was Snooki. This is pre-Snooki, or 26.
Anyways,
But basically, if you think about it, a ladder is lighter than a person, right? And now we've seen guys like Bandito doing moonsaults with people.
holding a human,
Which
yeah.
is nuts. The hardest part for me about that was climbing up to the top rope while holding a ladder. Because you don't have a free hand, and then now suddenly you're like, got this awkward... It's not like a little weight. It's just like a big awkward thing that's bumping into the ropes where you're trying to march up.
Yeah, it's not exactly small.
But then you got the
I
landing
thought
too.
for myself,
That's what
I was like, this is one of the first times I've been on Mania in a featured match. There had been like 3 years in a row where you got a tag match, and then like the day before, like your tag match is now the dark match. And for this one match, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a few things that are gonna be my WrestleMania moments at this match, and I don't care what happens, but they're happening.
I'd be worried being the person getting moonsaulted on with the
Yeah.
ladder more than
Well, if you watch the clip closely, nobody.
nobody was there.
They all left. They cut. Like, and luckily I kind of landed on my feet and rolled back and like knocked into everyone, but no one really caught me.
I'd be worried about your landing.
At WrestleMania 24, that wasn't the worst for me. If I did a backflip from the top rope onto my feet now, the ankles and knees would not be happy.
What was the worst for you?
On that one?
Yeah.
Actually, that was fine. The suplex, let's see, Shelton gave Kennedy a sunset power bomb while I was hooked for a superplex on top of the ladder. That one hurt worse
That
than the
sounds
ladder
horrible.
salt.
Yeah.
Especially because like of the positioning, I landed very close to the side of the ring. And I remember thinking like, oh God, I guess get to roll out now for a little bit. And I think that might
catch your
have
breath.
also been the match that like the ladder got tipped and I thought I was going to be able to nut shot myself really easily. And I did nut shot myself, but like I didn't get a foot on the bottom. Like, I don't know, like to this day, like how I didn't like rupture the nut or a sac. I don't know what happens. Like, you know, like whatever you call it, the medical term,
Yeah.
like not damage.
Yeah. Rupture.
Yeah.
Explode.
Oh my gosh.
I think it kind of like scraped the side and it still like did like a little pinch, but
All right.
everything stayed
Anyways,
intact.
Yeah. Yeah.
Subject change.
Speaking of ladders, what were you thinking when you were in the ring when Joey Mercury ate that ladder?
If you watch that clip close, we both took the ladder. I'm a little taller than Joey, and he was leaned over, and the ladder hit me on the chin, and I went out one side of the ring, it hit his eye, and he went out this way. I didn't see what happened to him. I thought my jaw was broken. I'd never been hit that hard in my life. And I was on the floor holding my jaw and just like quietly trying to decide if I was hurt or injured. And then
Because there's a difference.
yeah. If you're injured, then you're like, I'm done, match over. If you're hurt, you're like, I can go, I can finish this. So a minute or two goes by, and it's almost time for me and Joey to run back in the ring. And I crawled over, and I was like, where's Joey? And I looked up the ramp and just saw this trail of blood and like the trainers escorting him out, and thinking to myself, like, oh.
yeah.
We still have a lot of stuff left. And then I just kind of ran in and tried to do my best to do what we were both supposed to do as a tag team by myself.
Wow.
And then man, that night was rough. Like, we were in the hospital for about 6 hours. He stitched his cartilage. They reset his bone, his orbital, and then they stitched his skin on top of his stitched cartilage.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's the gnarliest ladder accident I've seen to this day.
It's because the second it hits him, his face just immediately starts bleeding.
It's like he does this, and when he takes his hands off, it's like a pump. Just like someone like...
Well, yeah, and your face and your head always bleed a
Yeah.
lot.
I mean, and he had broken nose, broken orbital. Like, just... He was messed up.
What's the most painful spot you've been in, Taya?
I mean, I've been very lucky in my 13, 14 years of wrestling, like that, knock on wood.
Please, there's plenty of it here.
No, like having my nose broken sucked. I mean, I've been kicked and dropped and all sorts of things, like, you know, especially like when some people aren't there to catch you when you're diving the outside. I've had several of those. I've had several, you know, different people kick me in the head that weren't supposed to kick me like that.
Come on, John.
I've been power bombed. I've been power bombed multiple times by Brian Cage. That sucked.
There's the one where like you got bumped off the apron and someone was supposed to catch you. Remember that?
It was a trust fall to the outside off the top, or on the second rope.
But the guy was like right there and didn't catch you. You just hit
Didn't
the
catch
concrete.
me. I hit the ground.
It's not funny, but like...
Or this was during COVID times. I was not caught doing this like trust fall thing. And during COVID times for TV, like people don't realize that sometimes they were like, stop, do you want to do it again?
Oh.
And I was like, nope. We're just going to keep going. Like I was like, I'm not doing that again. Like there's a lot of that. But yeah, I think, I don't know. I've been very lucky and I will keep being healthy and not broken.
Do you think we'll get to a point where you guys work each other in AEW?
I mean, I would love to.
In AEW, it's tricky because they're not big on intergender violence. And, man, I'd love to beat the crap out of Taya. Because I think that shows
Right back at you, babe.
respect. Don't you think? Like
Yes.
treating each other like equals,
Yes,
being able to
and-
punch each other and kick each other in the face.
Well, and also we've
just-
like done it before. Like we've had 2 matches against each other. We've also tagged together against each other. We've like, you know, in the world of professional
And
wrestling.
we're talking about performance art,
Yes,
obviously.
this is not. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is
a wrestling match.
This is wrestling. I mean, he's the best wrestler in the world, in my opinion, and of course, I want to wrestle the best wrestler in the world. So I would love to have a match against him. But you know, if
Top 2 wrestlers in the world, right there.
Boom.
me and Presley.
Well, I hope everybody goes and checks out Johnny Loves Taya.
Yes.
Episode 10, the season
The
finale.
season finale
Comes out tomorrow as this is airing. I mean, I don't know what you guys have up your sleeve because the first 9 episodes have just been all kinds of wildness and silliness and campiness and
then we're gonna
fun.
We're gonna close it out with the biggest blowout, coolest finale in all of Johnny Loves
I
Taya
think this
history.
is a lot of surprises. I don't usually wear sleeves, but
You're wearing sleeves?
no, I don't usually wear sleeves.
Oh.
There's a
I
lot
mean,
of
I'm professional for
You're
for
wearing
a
sleeves right
podcast.
now, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to just show up like a media.
Does that t-shirt have sleeves?
No, but it's an extra medium.
it's an extra. It's a TV medium.
That's a schmedium for sure.
Or a TV large, as we call it.
TV large.
But the finale has like a lot of like special guests and different people and other people from the AEW roster, and we worked really hard on this entire season on this really special project, and I hope that everyone's really enjoyed these 10 episodes, and hopefully we can do 10 more.
Look forward to it. How can I be as ripped as you 24/7?
Where do you train at?
LA Fitness?
We got us. Okay. We'll have to work on a schedule.
Okay.
You guys
need
can do a
resistance
workout together.
training. You need cardio. You need intermittent like cardio for your actual cardio, but then you need recovery cardio, steady state to recover so your muscles recover. And then if you want to specify, you could do a skill because you can work skills longer than you can train. So maybe like 4 or 5 hours a day. We're talking like 5, 6, 7 days a week.
I have a
And,
child.
Well, I'll have the child workout too.
The child
Little
workout.
Hercules, but something cooler, like little Chris Sharp. Or
Yeah. Her name's Logan.
Little
Little
Thor.
Logan Sharp.
Oh,
Yeah.
she is going to be
Oh, she's gonna be jacked.
She's gonna take down Brock Lesnar's daughter.
Whoa. Oh wow.
Wouldn't that be something?
Brock Lesnar's daughter is like a mini beast. So I
I
don't
would
know
run
about
away
that.
from her too.
Yeah.
She looks like she's like 6'4".
I think I'd run away from her, but she would just shot put me
Yes, you would.
before I could get away.
But congrats on the show.
Thank you so much.
Congrats on allowing your creative juices to flow very freely in this. I love it.
Thank you. And like, we just want everyone, to enjoy the show, enjoy AEW, keep following everything that we're doing, the Mr. and Mrs. TV, and hopefully we'll have some cool things to announce soon.
We'll start with Miss TV. What are 3 things that you are grateful for in your life right now?
I am grateful for our marriage and our love for each other. I'm grateful for the optimism and happiness and excitement I have for what's next, and grateful for my family and friends.
That's good. I love optimism. That's great. Mr. TV.
Okay.
It's your last name. Yeah.
Dang, you went first. It's all the good ones.
You just copy hers.
Grateful for Daddy's boy, Mommy's boy Presley, but most of all, I'm grateful for the First Lady of Slam Town.
Me.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Of course.
And Chris Sharp. I'm grateful for Chris Sharp. And
Wow, we were almost cut there, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.5.